Yashala, this is the last clip on part 7 of Come Up Hither. So let's continue.
He has greater mystery of him being manifested in the flesh. See? And that's where we're having our troubles right now, is appreciating God manifested in the fleshly body. Even though this man that came to us, who was all the God, somebody I know they just curl up. Oh, there are people down there saying that black man was God in the body. Oh my goodness. You're the one that's ignorant. You see, God has always dwelt in physical body. When he made the first man, Adam, he said he breathed in his nostrils the breath of life and he became a living soul. You don't know what that means. If you knew what it means, what it meant, you would know that what God did after making that fleshly body out of the dust of earth, he just stepped right in that body. What do I mean by that? This super incorporeal shape and form, which is an incorporeal body, just stepped into a corporeal or a fleshly body, just like a hand in a glove. See? And if you knew that, then you would know that God was on the scene back here. Listen to these words, even before you were. Was Adam and Eve, your mom and your daddy, fleshly speaking. So God was here in the flesh before you were, waiting for you to show up. Understand? But we don't believe that, you see. And see, he don't do it just one time. See? Yahweh does things over and over again, repetitively. Hopefully, at some point along the line, you get the message, see? So he shows up as Adam. It's already been said. Then he shows up, bringing the children of Israel up out of Egypt. Then he shows up, coming through the loins of the Virgin Mary as Joshua, a one of the world called Jesus Christ. Then he shows up at the beginning of this age as the Apostle Saul, of which many of us knew that he was the greatest of the apostles, but we didn't know how much greater. Yeah. And then down here at the end of this age, see, in our founder, see. Now that's 4 different times besides the one we're trying to tell you about, that God was manifested in a fleshly body. But you're ignorant of that. See? And because you don't know that, then you poo-poo the idea that Dr. Kennedy could be the God in the body. See? But not only that, see, Peter said, see, holy men of Yahweh spake as they were moved by the Holy Spirit. So not only was God manifested in a fleshly body all the way down through these 4,000 years prior to the advent of Pentecost, you see, he was manifested, those occasions I talked about, in his fullness, and just one fullness. We ain't talking about no 5 fullnesses. One fullness manifested in 5 different bodies, you see. But he was also manifested in Enoch, the 7th from Adam, see, Noah, see, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, the prophets, and so forth and so on, in measure, you see. So you got, see, innumerable occasions in which God has been manifested to a good degree in a body, fleshly body. You see? And these are the things that this man was trying to bring to us. See? Now I had you read over there where he said, great is the mystery of godliness. And he had us to stretch it out because we thought it was in reference to Yahshua, and it was at that time. But where the Institute missed the boat was God was standing right here before us, having us to read that verse. And he wanted to let us see, here I am, just like you said. I'm back here again, looking you right in the face. And listen, he didn't ask you to just accept that because he said that this is the truth. These charts have been all over the world before, ecclesiastical organizations, scientific organizations, and political organizations. There has been nobody who's been able to refute any of this work that's on these charts. See? They don't even dare to try to refute it. Why? Because they can't. See? This is a visible display, you see, of the ID of this man that came to us, calling himself Henry Clifford Kennedy. He just didn't ask you to believe it because he said it. See? And you know, if you're fair with yourself, there are things on these charts that you are just beginning to find out about, even though they've been up there all these years. And I mean, astounding things that we're just amazed at our own ignorance when it comes to not seeing them before. You understand? See? Now I'm kind of getting around to the crux of what I'm up here to say to you, see? This whole teaching now, see, is predicated upon one particular point, see, and that is Colossians 1:26.
Even the mystery
Which
hath been hid from ages and from generations.
Listen, see, Dr. Williams was up here showing you how Yahweh hid himself. They saw his back. You see, you didn't see his face. He purposely hid himself for 4,000 years. See? And then in the beginning of the 5,000th year, see, then that's when he revealed himself, you see, as to who he really was. You see? See? Read.
Even the mystery which hath been hid from ages and from generations.
Those are ages and generations. Read.
But
Now, that came into account as of Pentecost when he made himself known unto some, not to everybody. When you read there, he was going to bless all the families of the earth. Yahweh didn't have but two kinds of families, Jews and Gentiles. And when he made himself known to the Jews and then later on to the Gentiles, that's to all the families of the earth. But he didn't mean everybody. Some of us seem to think that, you understand? There was a debate going on in the school as to the fact that all of them had the Holy Spirit. You see? It's just those that Yahweh has chosen, you see? Read.
But now is made manifest to his sons.
Now listen, the only ones that know this mystery, you see, we're talking about, see, a blessing that has come to you more than some lottery winning that you could get, a paltry $100 million. Is that what you're opting for? See? I pity you if that's all you're looking for in this life. See? Read.
To whom Yahweh will make known what is the riches of the glory of this mystery among the nations.
Read.
Which is the Messiah in you.
Now listen, folks. See, now we know that the Messiah was in this man here and in Yahshua. See? But listen, and also in our founder. But you would never know that that's in the founder until something else happens, and that is that he puts his spirit in you. See? It's a two-way street from faith to faith. See? You're not going to know who Dr. Kinley is except Dr. Kinley has given you of his spirit and put it in your heart and in your mind, you see? And that's the reason why it's only known to the sons. Read.
Which is the Messiah in you.
Read.
The only hope of glory.
Listen, that's the only way that you're going to live eternally in the ages that is to come. See, if you're looking forward to dying a physical death and then you don't know what goes on after that, you are miserable. See, it was quoted here before. See? You all are all men most miserable. That's all that you're looking forward to. You see? But we have a heritage. And you don't realize what a great blessing it is to be called a son. You know, when you are a son, firstly, you didn't have anything to do with being a son. You were just born into your family. But you inherit everything that the father's got. And you didn't earn it. It's your heritage. It's your right. You understand? See? And you find yourself in unexpected riches that you didn't have nothing to do with. See? And then on top of that, he made you equal to him because he calls himself the son, a son. See? And he comes around and calls you a son, and you're a fellow heir with him. See? I think it's a blessing for him to elevate you into his stature. See? And he looks at us as being sons just like he's a son. You understand? See? The only hope of glory. Now that's where we are now in the Institute. And I'm here to tell you You don't have but just a little short time now to come, see, and get reconciled. See? Now, you sometimes trying to know who Dr. Kenny is, but I'm telling you, you're going to have to know that Dr. Kenny has put his spirit in your heart and your mind before you can know who he is. See? They both come at the same time. When that spirit comes in you, then that's when you know who he is. See? And let me just make this last point. See? Yahweh, in creating the heavens and the earth and everything that therein is, he did a perfect work. See? You can't accuse him of any imperfection in his creation. See? And Paul says, ye are his workmanship created in Yahshua's side. So don't think that Yahweh will come up with an imperfect work in you and me. I mean by that, where you're guessing and speculating. Well, I don't know. I think I got a birth son in me. I'll leave it, but I ain't too sure. They listening like that. See, these sons that he has birthed are confident. You see that displayed in those boys that received the Holy Spirit on the day of Pentecost. Every last one of them met death at the hands of those who didn't believe they had the Holy Spirit in them. See, and that's a witness to you and me as to how confident you have to be that the Holy Spirit is tabernacling in you. See, you're not going to get by it. See, being lukewarm of this thing. See, you're going to have to be hot. That means having the Holy Spirit in you, or you're going to be cold, meaning not having the Holy Spirit. Thank you very much for your time.